bruh, discipline. The things that always, just make South African players fumble. Alcohol, discipline. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag. And you are here with your favorite host, Deshane. And in today's episode, as you can see, we are looking at our top 5 Bafana players who never, reached their potential as such. And yeah, it's a little bit of a sad one that we're touching on today, but this is very, very important. I think we can learn some lessons from this one as well. And we are on our road to 500, of course. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to look at our player at the number 5 position. And that is, of course, Mabizela. Wow, guys. Mabizela is definitely one of those who had the highest potential cap, guys. Highest potential cap. And things just didn't work out. It's just so sad. But yeah, he started off his career, played at Orlando Pirates for a while, and then transferred. Dream move. Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur calls you up, right? And in the first few games, I think it might have even been the first game, scores a screamer of the goal, bruh, from like the halfway line. This guy shoots, goal. And it's like, yo, OJ, now it's like, okay, your quality is not just good enough for Orlando Pirates in South Africa and the PSL. No, Baba, you are world class. You are there. You know what I mean? But due to, discipline, the things that always, just make South African players fumble. Alcohol, discipline, and, just the commitment to the game as well, bruh. So that was just unfortunate for him because, as I said, the highest potential cap that we've ever had on a player probably was Mabizela. Played in the defensive position as well, and can also play as a defensive midfielder. And yeah, it was just unfortunate, man. Did come back and play for Mamelodi Sundowns, and it was good, but we all know it could have been a lot more. So it was just really sad for him not to have reached that level. And we are going to go ahead and look at the next player that we're going to be talking about, of course. And that is, of course, Ayanda Patosi. And Ayanda also was a fantastic player. Fantastic player. Played out in Belgium, of course, for FC Lokeren. And yeah, moved around quite a bit, had a huge potential cap, and there was rumors around some point that there were teams in France and so forth that were looking for him. Unfortunately, those deals never materialized, and he ended up coming back to South Africa at some point, played for Cape Town City, and yeah, he played well for Cape Town City. I think it was more so like an introduction for South African fans to Patosi, because prior to that, he only played overseas. And I think we saw him like in Bafana a little bit here and there, but it was one of those weird situations where it's like, okay, but who's this dude? No one knew who he was. But he played very, very well. Fantastic free kick. Dead ball specialist for days, Ayanda Patosi, right? And then he left from here. I think he went to Israel, right? And then he played for Banias. Is it Banias? Yeah, and in the UAE as well. He's making tons of money. But if we're talking about the actual potential and the career and what he could have had, especially the talent that he had, Ayanda is one of those, man. One of those that definitely could have been great, but unfortunately never really reached those peaks. And we're going to be looking at our next player who is on our list of our players who never really reached their potential, and that is, of course, Phakamani Mahlambi. Phakamani Mahlambi probably by now is 26, 27, right? And that's not even old in football, in footballing terms. In fact, for most players, that's when they reach their peak and the biggest form and the peak of their career. This is when usually they reach the highest potential. But with Phakamani, Phakamani. So Phakamani started off at Bidvest Wits, played amazing, had an amazing season that got him a deal at Al Ahly. Went to Al Ahly, played a little bit of a season there, didn't really make too much of an impact, didn't get too many opportunities as well. And then he came back for Sundowns, right? Sundowns, it was a fantastic move for him also, biggest team in the country. And yeah, you can do a lot more, even if you're not necessarily at Al Ahly. But Sundowns will provide you more or less the same level, even in terms of what these guys can offer you. They're going to offer you winning the league. They're going to offer you CAF Champions League football. This is what these teams are going to offer you. And they'll go far in those competitions as well, right? So he came back, And yeah, he was a bit erratic, right? The qualities that he had at Wits, they were there, but it's similar to what Thapelo Masego offers us now. Speed, but not really much in the way of like technical ability. So, you know, it would have been nice for him just to have a bit of time to hone his technical ability so he can use his speed effectively. But with Phakamani, it was just even more than just that. You know, just discipline issues, bro. But alcohol, yo. One thing that ruins South African players' careers is alcohol, and it's people like Junior kind of been saying this for ages. Yo, there's so many players that got their careers ruined by alcohol. So many, right? And Phakamani is unfortunately one of, you know, is a statistic at this point. One in a long line of players that unfortunately ruin their careers due to alcohol. So yeah, hopefully they'll get more education when it comes to that type of thing and a little bit more guidance, bro. It's just sad to see really talented players like Phakamani, you know, just wither away because of things like that. So yeah, before I get too emotional, let's go over to the next player who is making our list, of course, and that is Tokelo Rantie, right? Tokelo Rantie is also another player. Was a fantastic forward. I remember the game where we played against Nigeria, and I think we were almost losing 2-0, and he single-handedly, by himself, kept South Africa in the game, right? Scored all 2 of those goals by himself, right? Ran, chased, you know, things that looked like what is this? Dead end, you know, it's like a lost cause. He chased lost causes down and he made them work and he scored by himself. Right? So Tokelo was a hell of a player, guys. Like, I know there's some South African players who have whatever they have to say about him, but Tokelo was a player, right? I think when he dropped onto everybody's radar, I mean, he was at the African Stars of Academy and all of that, but when he went to Malmo, and he got to Malmo out in Sweden, when he won the league, yeah, he was just, you know what I mean? Doing shibobos and nutmegs just for fun. That was Tokelo. Short, strong, very fast as well, you know, kind of gave you the same qualities that someone like Sergio Aguero would have offered you, but of course he was less refined. But yeah, definitely had more or less the same qualities, and that earned him a move to Bournemouth. That of course was in the championship at the time, spent the season over there. I think he ended off like his time at Bournemouth with a total of like 5 goals or so, right? He was at Bournemouth for like 2 seasons. His competition was Wilson, of course, who was very tough competition for him at the time. So he didn't make too many moves. Premier League, yeah, they got to the Premier League, but even then he was more so like a bit part substitute type of player. And then obviously came through to South Africa, went to Cape Town City, never really played a game. We don't really know what happened there. Then he got offered to Sundowns as well. Didn't really work out, didn't get a contract right there. And that was the last we heard of Tokelo Rantie. So hopefully wherever he is, he's okay, right? But it's just sad like how his career sort of, yeah, withered away, man. He was one of the best strikers that we had. I will confidently say that. He was one of our best strikers, and it's just unfortunate how his career ended. It would have been nice for him to end it off the same way somebody like Benny McCarthy or Stephen Pienaar ended off. You go and do your career out in wherever, you know, England or wherever where he was at the time. Come back, play for a big team for a good 2-3 seasons, and then, yeah, now we honor it as a national hero. And our next player that we're going to mention on this list, of course, who makes the list is Percy Tau, right? So Percy Tau, who makes it to this list, some people have whatever they have to say about it, but hear me out, right? So Percy, it's not like he failed per se, right? He did have a decent career, but we would have expected it to be more, right? Of course, as at Sundowns, got bought by Brighton. Unfortunately, at Brighton, it took him like 2-3 seasons for him to even make his first game for Brighton. Got loaned out a couple of times, went to KC Westerlo. No, not KC. Was it Westerlo? No, it's not Westerlo. I'm lying. Union Saint Gilloise. I hope I'm saying it right because it's from Belgium, guys. So forgive me, right? So Union Saint Gilloise went there, ended off the season. It was in the 2nd division at the time. Won the player of the season. He ended off the season with like 13 goals and 11 assists, if I'm not mistaken. And it was fantastic. We thought he would go back to Brighton. It wasn't quite meant to be. Then he went to the 1st division with Bruges, right? Where he played Champions League football, played against Manchester United, played against Real Madrid, where he provided an assist, of course, for the Nigerian dude. What's his name? Emmanuel Dennis, if I'm not mistaken. Provided an assist. And yeah, you know, Bruges, I think they drew against Real Madrid that day, and he played so well, right? Ran rings around Casemiro and Modric and everybody else. He was doing a fantastic job over there, right? And then third season, we thought he would come back, didn't quite work out. Vincent Kompany called him, he's like, my boy, come through, I need you here at Anderlecht, right? Came through, he played at Anderlecht. And yeah, he played really, really well at Anderlecht as well. And then halfway through the season at Anderlecht, that's when he got recalled to Brighton, right? Graham Potter like come through to the squad, came through, but at Brighton he didn't get many opportunities. That's the unfortunate thing. Didn't get opportunities at all. I think he might have ended off with like 1 goal and 1 assist or something like that. But yeah, didn't get many opportunities. The few games that he did play against like Manchester City, for example, he was making Bozinchoko slide with his face across the floor. That's just Percy Tau for you in his prime, right? But unfortunately, as I said, didn't get too many opportunities, and he ended up going, of course, to Al Ahly, where he's had a fantastic career at Al Ahly. Let's not get it wrong, guys. Has won the league, of course, has won the Champions League, been to the Club World Cup. Last season in the Club World Cup and in their Champions League charge, he was their most valuable player, right? So yeah, Percy, by no means are we saying that he failed, but from Premier League, bro. People go from Premier League to France, from Premier League to Italy, from Premier League to wherever. So if you feel like he could have had a better place to land, go to France, go somewhere else where you're going to, you know, just test yourself, right? And you're still going to be in one of the biggest leagues in the world. So the fact that Percy didn't do that is why he's on this list. That's the only reason. He's successful at Al-Ahly, but he didn't quite succeed in Europe, unfortunately. So that's why he makes it to this list, because we would have thought he would have done more. And that brings us, of course, to the end of our list and the end of our video. If there are any players that you feel like do deserve to be on this list, please mention them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you when it comes to that. We are, of course, on our road to 500, so please definitely subscribe and help us get to our goal. And we are, of course, hoping that you will like, share, and subscribe to the video, man. I definitely need you to help me out. Let's get the algorithm moving. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you in the next episode of The Corner Flag.